We're going to go through not every film, and not even every film has been announced, but we're going to go through the most highly anticipated up to right now movies for 2024. And we are going to use our knowledge because we've made a few wrong predictions. We made a few correct predictions on the podcast. So let's reflect on this past year. Let's kind of understand where the audience of the world is.
Yes.
And we're going to rate all these 1 to 5. We're not individually. We're going to have to decide on a rating for each one of these. So we're just
going to 5, 3. Just
we'll spit it out, and we'll try to we'll come to an agreement. There's 24 titles here, and we are going to roughly get what are going to be the most underperforming and highest performing movies of next year for the most anticipated. Okay,
so we're ranking. So basically,
I wrote it down because I have something else for the next segment that's on the computer. So
did anybody predict Taylor Swift's Eras tour?
No one predicted that, but no one knew it was going in the freaking theaters either.
I saw a comedian mention something funny. He's like, we were all talking about. He's like, I jumped from The Exorcist after taking mushrooms. I jumped into the Eras tour.
Oh, that's
in the movie theater. He's like, because I was too scared.
Right, I was too scared.
He's like, so he's like, people were talking about Barbieheimer. He's like, you need to get on that Exor-Swift. I thought that was a fun.
That is a fun play on words. Yeah. All right. So 1 out of 5, we're ranking these. Okay.
We're solely ranking this based off of, is this going to be popular, or is it going to just be a fall off movie where people are not paying attention to it?
Yes. And some of those are going to be obvious. Some of them are going to be the medium performing because they're going to perform exactly the way they always perform.
3.
Like, for example, there's another Transformers next year. It's not going to be a huge hit, but it's going to perform exactly the way this past year's performed because it's been performing the same way for the past 8 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's going to be, we're going to get those, but we're also going to get highs and we're also going to get lows. Okay. So we're going to start with the Mean Girls remake.
Low.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure about that one. I think I'm probably with Josh.
Well, my gut says 4 because out of all of the, you don't think Mean Girls is going to get a
I would give it. I'm going to be generous and give it a 3.
Yeah.
So 2, 3, and 4. We have to go with 3 then. Okay.
Yeah, average it out to 3.
Madam Web.
3.
3.
We can't just put everything in the middle. Why?
Well, there's going to be a lot in the middle because
I think there's going to be a lot of middle ground stuff because there's been a lot of middle ground stuff the past couple of years.
Sydney Sweeney's in it. Does that change anything?
No.
I might go see it for Sydney Sweeney.
A lot of people will.
Go.
Especially. Yeah. Well, actually, no, I'm not.
Let's call it 4. How about that? Would you be willing to bump it to a 4?
I don't know that Sydney Sweeney bumps it up to a 4.
No,
look, I think the nature of it, it's Sony Marvel. I think it's in the same lane as Venom, and so we're gonna.
Yeah, but
I think it's gonna be higher performing. It's gonna be higher performing than the Disney Marvel, right?
No, Venom wasn't higher performing. Venom was less than Marvel stuff.
I think that sits solidly at a 3 for me.
All right, 3 it is.
In my opinion, but we'll go with 3.
Dune Part 2. Are people coming back for Dune?
I think people are. That's a 4 or 5. I think that's a 5. People are waiting for this one.
People are
the first one. I think people were like, I don't know, and then I think people watched it and they were like, man, this is something epic. I think the anticipation for the second movie is up there.
Let's go with 5 because of Austin Butler. Sydney doesn't give it.
You're throwing in big actors now.
Florence Pugh and Austin Butler.
Yeah,
a bump. Yeah,
Chris Walken. I'm really intrigued by what they're going to do with his performance as Emperor Shaddam.
We're getting a lot more Zendaya, and everyone's still
on fire for Timmy. I was a little salty about that in the last one, but
Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire
2.
No one cares about Ghostbusters.
I mean, Paul Rudd, but nobody cares.
Godzilla plus Kong: The New Empire
3. It's gonna be in the middle. Yeah, it's gonna be in the middle. There's gonna be people like
Kong vs. Godzilla performed pretty well.
It did, and people are really looking forward to -1. So Godzilla's always kind of hot.
Let's put it at a 4.
Okay. Yeah, it might perform really well.
I think people are going to show up to the theaters, and popularity. It's going to be a lot of buzz
Mm.
around Godzilla plus Kong, New Empire. All right, The Fall Guy.
2.
I don't think people are on that one as
No.
much.
You
I
don't think
that
Ryan
one,
Gosling's going to sell it? He just
Mhm.
sold Barbie.
I think that one, people are going to be like, yeah, we can go to the theaters, and if it's good, if it gets lots of word of mouth, then it'll get
It'll
popular.
blow up, but just
But
as it is, it's not.
Yes.
based
gonna
on the
blow up.
trailers I've seen, I'm sitting at like a 2 or 3.
It's like a one-time watch movie. You watch it once,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Oh, that was fun."
And also,
but
a lot of
you're never
people
gonna
aren't
watch
probably.
it again.
Yeah, a lot of people probably aren't really into like the
Mm.
production side of the movie either. Like I have. A
I was
natural
more intrigued.
tendency
I was
to
more
be-
intrigued by the romance. I was hoping it would be a rom-com,
but it's less
Mhm.
that.
but the trailers are looking like that.
All right, we'll go with our predictions. Going to be 2, unless it has a lot of good word of mouth.
Mhm.
Garfield for the kids.
I think Garfield has potential to perform really well.
Yeah.
4.
Kids movies perform really
4,
well.
yeah. I would say 4.
4.
4.
It's
Yeah.
for the kids.
For the kids.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
4 or
4.
5. Yeah, I would say
Definitely
I think
4.
a lot of people are showing up for
I
Kingdom
think
of the
people are
Planet of the
showing up for
People are
Planet of the
showing
Apes.
up for it, but it's not as popular because everybody's not into the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
All right.
So far.
Right.
Ballerina. This is the female John Wick universe with Ana de Armas.
I think that falls into the same category as Fall Guy for me.
2.
As
Yeah.
What
yeah,
about John Wick
it's gonna-
nostalgia though?
it
He's
is
going to be in the
John Wick
movie.
nostalgia. Yeah, but I think it's going to need some good solid word of mouth.
And they already announced another John Wick movie when they thought they were done. So so that means
Actually, you know what? Let's put it at 3 because I think it's going to perform.
all the John Wick people are watching this.
Yeah, it's going to perform the way John Wick performs.
And Ana de Armas gets
People
eyeballs.
like her.
They
She
like
does.
her. So 3.
I like her.
I like her too. How could you not? Inside Out 2. 5.
Ooh,
5.
Yeah,
That's-
5 or 4.
Everyone's going to watch
I
this.
wouldn't usually normally predict that for a new Disney Pixar thing, but because this one has
Inside
some
Out was so huge, and it's been
has some
so long
street
since
cred.
the first one came out.
yeah, this
It's got
one's
some
going to
cred.
perform well.
This is
whether
going to be like
people like it or
when
not.
this is going to be reminiscent of when Toy Story 3 came out.
Mhm.
No,
You know what I mean?
Not that popular, but yes.
I think they're looking for a new Toy Story kind of
They
trilogy.
are.
I think
with Inside
I
Out.
personally think this is going to be one of the highest grossing films of next year
yeah.
because
think
it's
so,
for
too.
kids. It's going to be. Everyone loved the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be like what
If
Toy
they
Story 3
do
was.
well,
Everyone
if
went
they
and
do
watched
well
it.
with this one, then they could really do a Toy Story 3 with the third movie of this.
Mm.
Potentially.
I think so.
well,
I think
we'll see.
because they grabbed a new generation with the first movie. They are appealing to them again with the second movie, even though those kids are a little bit older, the same way Toy Story did.
Mhm.
And then by the time a third movie comes out, those kids will be adults, and so some really, especially when you're dealing with emotions, I think they have a hit if they can stick the landing.
Right.
Yes, everybody's got emotions, and most of us can't deal with them.
A Quiet Place Day 1. 2.
3.
You think-
That's right in the middle.
Maybe it's in the middle.
I'm skeptical.
Popularity.
I'm skeptical because the first two movies are so good.
This one's not going to contain
Quiet
those
Place is
actors.
really good, and people like them. But a third one, we're doing another one. It's going to be less popular.
I think that one's gonna get. I think that one's actually probably gonna get a lot of eyes. It's going to be after the fact because I don't think Krasinski's involved.
Then
I don't know how the movie or the story is gonna play out. So I think it's probably gonna get a lot of people to watch it. But it's not gonna have the staying power if it doesn't follow in the same vein as the
So
first
what?
two
3 or
movies.
2?
Probably a 3.
yeah,
All right. Despicable Me 4. I think this is tired.
2.
It's a kids movie. It's gonna be.
I'll
a
bump
4.
it up to 3 because the
Kids love
movie, I
Minions.
think it's
Kids love
2.
Despicable Me.
A 4.
Probably a 4.
You think a 4?
I think
kinda
it's a
feeling a 4.
3.
I'm kind of feeling a 4 probably. Deadpool 3.
5. People are watching.
Yeah,
People are gonna
people are
want to watch Deadpool.
We're all gonna watch it. We're all
Yeah.
looking forward to it, right?
I'll
I think
sample at it,
everyone's kind of
you know.
feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
5. Borderlands. Now, this is based on
The
this is
video game.
a video
Borderlands?
game, and it's going to have people like Kevin Hart and Jack Black in it. So it's another one of those type of movies.
Oh, so kind of like a comedy.
A comedy
video game-
from the video game.
I
Movies
think this
look
one.
good. I say 3.
I'm gonna say 2.
So you
Yeah,
think no one's showing up for
absolutely.
Kevin Hart and Jack Black again in
No.
a video game movie?
I think that one could just slip by easy.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
I'm gonna give it a
everyone-
3 though. A 3
Okay.
because Kevin
Yeah.
Hart and Jack Black sell.
Okay.
That's why they put him in movies.
I think Jack Black more than Kevin Hart these days.
Probably a little bit, just because of what the Mario, Kraven the Hunter. All of the rated R Marvel fans like Deadpool. Are we showing up for Kraven the Hunter?
I think it's gonna be a 4.
Probably. I think that one has potential to be a 4, but also with kind of the superhero fatigue that people are experiencing,
Yeah.
it could be lower.
But it will bring.
Do you
want to
predict a 4?
Yeah, go ahead and throw a 4 on that one.
Beetlejuice 2. This is all that old nostalgia.
I think 3.
Boy. Yeah, I never watched the original Beetlejuice. I know I know Michael Keaton was really good. I know that he rewrote a lot of his lines and improv'd a lot of his lines, and it's a really good performance from him.
Does anyone care?
But
How
does
well
anyone
did what was that movie about witches that they just released?
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus 2. How did that perform?
I don't think it performed well at all.
Well,
Then we're
yeah,
going to say the same
probably-
thing. Beetlejuice is going to perform just as good as that did.
2,
2. Maybe 1, but we'll say
maybe
2.
1.
Transformers 1, it's going to be a 3. It performs decent every time because the same
Or
people
a
go and
2,
watch it.
3 or 2. I think it leans towards the not doing as good, in my opinion.
Probably. Let's throw it at a 3.
All right. And it's also popularity. It's not even just necessarily thinking about the money. It's also like just what's the buzz? What are people talking about, you know?
Mhm.
Here's a big one. Joker 2, Folie à Deux.
5.
5.
Yeah,
that
people are
one, I
going to
think
watch it.
People are gonna
Even if
watch
they
it.
don't like it, they're going to watch it.
They're gonna watch it.
Yeah,
They
everyone's
wanna
watching
peek at that.
Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga.
Mhm.
Venom
Yeah.
3.
2.
2. The last one was so bad. I think people are
Yeah.
kind of turned off.
Nobody
from
You
cares.
think
Venom.
it's a 1? You think
Could
Tom
be a
Hardy's
1.
bringing people back?
I don't
No.
think Hardy's bringing people back.
I'm going to call it a
It-
1. I don't think anyone's
Yeah, let's say
interested.
1. Yeah, I don't think anybody's interested in that.
Gladiator 2. This is going to be the next film that
5.
um
Probably a 5.
I think
5.
4. 4.
I think 4. Gladiator's not a woman's
It's
movie.
popular, but yeah, it's not quite the thing.
I mean,
for some
remember
people.
this movie, the highest grossing film is a girl's movie, Barbie.
Mhm.
True.
So if you're talking about popularity, Gladiator's going to be as popular as Napoleon is now. You know what I mean?
I think no. I
4.
think that's wrong because Gladiator has that previous movie of
Yeah.
that so many people have grown up on, that so many dads love.
Yeah, but people don't like
no one cares
sequels.
about what dads
People like
love.
original.
Dude, no one cares about dads.
Let's be honest. Aside from Barbie popularity, the driving force of movie watching is generally men.
Yes.
And Gladiator was such a popular
Okay,
movie.
it's the difference between
men.
4 and 5. We agree it's 4
I
or
call it
5.
a 4. I'll say
Okay.
a 4.
We'll say yeah.
And we
I
say
write it out.
For me, it's a 5, but it's going to be a 4, I think, for culture.
for the culture.
For the culture. Wicked Part 1, 5.
Wicked.
Wicked. The cinematic make of it's going to have
Oh,
Wicked,
yes.
the
The-
show, the Broadway show.
the musical. The
Musical.
Broadway musical.
It's going to have
Four?
Ariana Grande. No.
Yeah.
I think it's a 5. This
I think
has got
4.
not just general audience, but like all the women. All the women love the
Uh,
Wicked Broadway.
Look at it this way.
This is the Barbie of next year, in my opinion, is Wicked.
I think
Probably.
I
I think so too.
I don't think La La Land or Les Mis were 5s until after they were out and people had seen them. I don't think people started going to the movies
I
We're not talking
disagree.
about.
to
We're
watch
talking
them.
about
We're talking about
popularity for next year. It can
but-
be
but
after it comes out.
this is okay. So general, we're not talking about just opening weekend. or
No.
anything. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That could be a 5. It could be a 5.
I think if it's good and it's not terrible, it could be a 5. And it says
If it's
part
not
1.
terrible, a good musical, people love a good musical.
It says
Yeah,
part 1.
Those theater
which
kids
means
go
there's
hard.
There's gonna be a part 2. And
Mhm.
also, this is going to get all the ladies to go to the theater because all the ladies love the Broadway Wicked. Most
think-
women dream of seeing it if they haven't already. I think it's going to be a 5 just in popularity. Whether before or after, I think it's going to be a 5.
I mean, we all agree it's 5.
Lord of the Rings, Riders of the Rohirrim. This is highly anticipated.
Is that a
just 'cause
movie?
it's Lord of the Rings.
No, it's that anime.
It's the I thought that was an
It's an
animated
anime
show.
movie, I think.
That has
no.
Look,
I
it
thought
was
it was
on
a
the
show.
it was on the
thought it was a show.
Rotten Tomatoes most anticipated films list.
It
So-
could be that whether it's a show or not. I think that could be a 5.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is gonna. Lord of the Rings, even if I'm gonna say 4 actually, because of Rings of Power. I'm gonna say 4.
Yeah, that kind of turned people off a little bit.
That turned people off. I'm gonna say
I'll give it a
4.
4, but in my
Mm.
heart, I think people are gonna love it. But it's gonna be like Andor. I don't think anyone's gonna watch it.
Yes.
No,
So
people are gonna watch it.
the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
people
It's Lord of the Rings.
Hard,
But it's an animated.
big-
There's a
yeah.
very few people that like watching animated anything.
True,
That's true.
but
That's true.
it's got the name Lord of the Rings in it, man.
All
It's
right,
gonna perform.
Mufasa, the Lion King. So this is the lions that look like real
3?
lions, but they're not real.
2.
I think it's 3 because there's still people that want to talk about the. We saw this with the
This
Little
is
Mermaid.
Disney
People
fatigue.
Are,
I think
people are still
it's a 2.
talking about live actions for some reason. We saw that with the Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
is
but if we're
coming at
going
the
on
end of
public
next year.
perception, Little Mermaid was not a 5 or a 4.
no,
it's
I'm saying
barely-
3.
Maybe
A 3.
even a 3.
I'm saying
I
3.
think this is lower because it's what Mufasa. It's not even.
It says
I don't
it's
know.
called Mufasa, the Lion King.
Yeah, I think this is a 2 for me.
I think it's
but-
a 2 as well.
I think
I don't
it's a
think
3.
anyone's interested in this movie.
No, there's people that are still interested.
All right, well, we have to go with the 2 since both of us agree. Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
4. It's gonna perform. People love Sonic. They loved the
would
second
make-
movie.
There's going to be a lot of ads. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Or-
first one I think people were excited for because they changed Sonic and that was a really big deal.
Yeah.
The second one, lots of people saw it. Kids loved it. I think even general audiences were like, "Yeah, this is a better movie than
For
the first one."
kids.
And then, yeah, the third one, Sonic. Yeah, heck yeah,
All right. Last one. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
5.
Yeah, that's gonna be really popular.
That's good. People are gonna like that.
Everyone's going to
Wrapping
be
up,
buzzing about the Spider-Verse.
wrapping up the Spider Verse.
All
Yeah,
right. So I'm going to put a star next to all the 5s. Well, I'll just call them out. So it looks like the highest performing for popularity, potentially for money, but really for popularity for next year, according to our predictions, are going to be Dune Part 2, Godzilla and Kong, New Empire, Inside Out 2, Deadpool 3,
yeah,
Joker 2,
yes,
Yep.
Wicked Part 1, and Beyond the Spider-Verse. And then the lowest performing for next year based on popularity is going to be Ghostbusters, The Fall Guy.
Hmm.
There's a lot of 3s. I'm just hitting the 2s. Beetlejuice 2, Venom 3, Mufasa, The Lion King. And then
Mhm.
there's a lot of 3s and 4s. That's all the others.
I think Beetlejuice and Mufasa might not be the lowest, but they're kind of they're lower.
And I think,
This is our collective ideas.
yeah,
prediction.
I think I'm gonna say dark horse prediction, depending on how Rebel Moon does. The second Rebel Moon movie,
Right. I didn't put that on the
Dark
list.
horse.
Uh,
Dark
I
horse.
should. We should add that. What do you think?
It all depends on how the first one
How the
does,
first one
in
is,
my
yeah.
opinion. If the first one is received well, people really like it. It could be a 4 or a 5. If the first one is underperforming and people don't like it, it could definitely be a 2 or a 1, or
And
maybe just a 3.
And also think about this. If it's a huge success, think about how huge a success for next year those extended editions will be as well.
Oh,
the
yeah.
director cuts. They're going to
Yeah,
hit
so-
3 huge successes on Netflix if the first one does well.
Yeah, so if
Next
the
year.
first one does good, then Dark Horse is Rebel Moon.
And that does lean into popularity because they don't really have box office because it's just going to be on Netflix.
Yeah, that's all going to
But-
be word of mouth.
But it's going to be
Netflix
it's going to be
popularity.
like the Stranger Things popularity.
Mhm.
It's in culture. It's not necessarily tied to a money amount.